So in my last video, we talked about free cruises and how they're not really free. But here's the great news. You don't need casinos or gimmicks to get good deals on cruises. There are real ways to get great deals, and most people completely overlook them. Timing matters more than what people think. Cruise lines know when most people are able to cruise, and those who are flexible tend to save more. You usually have two sweet spots. One, when the cruise lines drop their itineraries. In fact, my next cruise was an early booking discount. I got a 7-night Mediterranean cruise for $400. And then the next one is last minute deals. I have talked about Cruise with Plum before. I'm not affiliated with them, but I do use them a lot to check out things like last minute deals. Now, there is a difference between the two. One of the things with early booking is you usually have a better cabin selection. And a lot of cruise lines will lock in that price maybe 2 years before the cruise, so that you're guaranteed to get what the cruise was 2 years ago. Again, my next cruise is this kind of deal. We booked almost 2 years in advance, make sure we locked in a price in case the price goes up for that same cruise. And with the last minute options, it's about the opposite. You're gonna have a lot lower price, but at the same time, you will not have as much of a selection when it comes to your cabin choices. You're either paying for choice or price. This is one that a lot of people underestimate. A good travel agent, especially one who focuses on cruises, can a lot of times add value that you won't see online. Travel agencies will a lot of times have access to group rates, or maybe they can give you some extra onboard credit and a lot of perks that you may not be able to get online. And one of the most important things that made me want to use a travel agent is they don't charge you a fee. They get their money from the cruise lines after your booking. And it doesn't cost you extra to use one. You're not just booking a cruise, you're accessing relationships and inventory. Now, as I said before, if you want the best deals, flexibility is key. I've seen where you're just by shifting your cruise by 1 week, price can drop dramatically. Also, by picking another ship, same itinerary, with a different ship, the price can drop too as well. And one of the big ones for me that I use a lot is I always travel off season. Even though I don't have children, I still want to be aware of what the school schedules are, because cruise lines will typically have higher prices when the kids are out. Now, don't get me wrong, this isn't just because of kids, it's also because of the college students and the high schoolers. The more people who are able to travel at said times, the higher the price is going to be. With that being said, most people actually pay higher prices because they have to do exact dates. And believe me, I get it. I actually chose a few career choices based on how much time that you actually get off so that I can travel. The company didn't give you more than 3 weeks, and that's not the company for me. Because to me, that's my bare minimum. That includes a family vacation, a friend's vacation, and then just what I wanted to do. So just remember, the more flexible you are, the more deals that you will unlock. Now, one of the most underrated ways to save money on a cruise, in my opinion, would be transitional cruises. Transitional cruises is one of the most underrated ways to save money. These types of cruises are necessary for the cruise line, and basically what it is just you're moving from one region, say the Caribbean, to another, like the Mediterranean. They are often cheaper per day than most sailings. And with transitional cruises, you're going to see less port days, but that in turn means less port fees charged to the cruise line, increasing the amount of your savings. A lot of times these trips can be more than 2 weeks long, and that means demand is lower because most people can't take that amount of time off work or school, so most people aren't able to book a transitional cruise. And with the transitional cruise, you're going to see a lot more sea days, so if you really enjoy being on the ship, these kind of cruises will be good for you. You're trading ports for value, and for the right person, that's a win. Now, my next video is going to be on transitional cruises, so be sure to subscribe so you don't miss it. Now, most people don't know this, but after you book a cruise, watch that same cruise's price and see if it drops, because a lot of cruise lines are going to actually match that price drop for you, and then in turn you save more money. Now, depending on the cruise line and the timing, you can get multiple different things. For instance, one, they could give you a price decrease, but not all cruise lines will do this. And if they don't, it doesn't mean you shouldn't ask, because you still may be able to get onboard credit. And if not lowering the price or getting onboard credit, there might be another upgrade or something else that they'll give you to help lower your price. So this is why booking early can still make a lot of sense. A lot of people focus, and I think it's a big mistake, on the cruise price. But the real money, and the cruise lines know this, gets spent while you're on board. Drink packages, specialty dining, shore excursions, as well as more, the list can go on. But just remember, you don't have to say yes to everything. Saving money on a cruise isn't just about booking, it's also about what you buy. A lot of times people will say they need something, but it really is just They want something. It's not something necessary for the cruise. So if you want to save money on a cruise without chasing free offers, instead of focusing on the free part, focus on booking responsibly. Focus on smart booking strategies. Maybe figure out a way to be a little more flexible when you go to booking, and learn more about the timing before booking. Because those three main things in general are going to save you more money than it will be if you go chasing the free cruise. That's actually how you're going to get the best value, not by trying to beat the system, but by understanding it. Comment the word save if you want me to personally go through step by step how I book a cruise to make sure that I get the best deal. And if you haven't watched my video on free cruises, go watch that video next, because it'll completely change how you see cruise pricing. My name is Shane with MapBound, and thank you so much for watching. Check out my cruise recommended products, as well as follow me on Facebook, and check out my website in the description. And remember, travel is life. It's the lawnmower.